George Foreman meets champion Joe Frazier in a heavyweight contest whose outcome stunned the boxing world. Kingston, Jamaica, 22nd of January, 1973.
In Kingston, the signing contract for the World Heavyweight title fight to be held in Jamaica on the 22nd of January next year is about to take place. Seated at the table and signing now, we have Joe Frazier, the champion. And on the other side, the #1 contender, Mr. George Foreman. In fact, to this,
call on Mr. Joe Frazier, the heavyweight champion, to say a few words.
Calling on Joe Frazier.
Good afternoon. Well, I'm not going to say too much about George because you all know that I'm not really a great rapper, mouth run offer. You know, it is like some people we know. And, I'm very happy that the fight is coming off because one particular reason, I feel like you need people like George and myself in the fighting game every day because fighting is a sport and it's not a politician thing and it's not a thing to be rapping off and talking about it. First of all, you're going to have to get out there and prove yourself and do the job real well. I feel like this is going to be a real good fight and we don't have to sit here and rap about it and go through a bunch of strange commotion. Because George is not that type of guy, and I'm not that type of guy. George's going to be out there trying to win the title, and I'm going to be out there trying to hang on to it.
I don't want to be as modest as Joe Frazier because 20% isn't as near as enough as, he's going to get. So I've got to get out here and preach and brag and beg and scheme and let you people think that I'm a monkey or something so you can come out and see me do something. And I want all the people in the country, in this country and in all parts of the world to come out and see this fight. And I don't think you'll be interested in come out and see two friends shake hands. Joe Frazier and me will declare war on that day. And that's definitely. And
About 8 weeks for this fight with George Foreman. When do you say you peak for it?
Well, I think I'm about maybe a week or 2 weeks ahead right now. But anyway, I would say going in maybe the 5th or 6 weeks, I should be at my peak, and therefore we'll just be coasting on in.
Ironically, George Foreman has twice as many fights as you've had. He has 37 fights to your 19.
Well, that's true too, and I got all respect for that. That's why I took myself into camp about 8 weeks, and I've been off for a little while, and I'm getting myself together. Otherwise, time will just tell what'll happen.
Are you training a little longer for him than you did for Ron Stander and Terry Daniels?
Well, I would say, yeah, this is a little longer. It's not because of the fighter, it's because I've been out a little longer, and I feel like George is young, and he's strong, and he's a big fella, and he'll be trying all the tricks in the book to take that title.
What about that size? Now, he's going to tower over you, much like Ali did.
Well, I got all the remedy for that. I get under them and stay low as much as possible. Otherwise, I got a new thing for him. You're going to see me hitting George with some jabs this time.
Well, how are you going to reach him? Of course, you don't mind getting hit yourself.
Oh, well, I do mind getting hit, but that gets the game, you know what I mean? If you go out there, you expect to get hit. And I don't worry about being tagged, I believe I can take it.
Joe, you said that you feel sharp. What do you mean by that?
Well, I feel to the point where I'm working at ease, I'm running good, I'm boxing good, I'm moving good, and I got the guys doing things that George probably would do, and I'm getting away with it, So I feel like I'll be prepared myself for anything that comes about, let's say, in this fight.
Stopping briefly in Los Angeles to publicize his January 22nd title fight with Joe Frazier, George Foreman looked strong in a quick workout. And when he stopped to talk about Smokin' Joe, one couldn't help but remember another young heavyweight 8 years earlier who had also talked in such bodacious tones.
This is my opportunity, and which is it's not his opportunity. That's the biggest advantage. He's had his chance. He's dined with the kings and queens and presidents, and it's my time now. That's the opportunity. I'm going to take advantage of it. I ain't had much television like this. I want this. He's tired of it. He take it as everyday things now. It's my time.
I mean, does it upset you? Does it bother you when people belittle your skills and say, well, you fought nobodies?
No, not really. It depends on who say it. Is you saying that?
No.
All right, then.
You're bigger now.
Well, it don't matter. I like to think every time I go out there to make everybody look like they're nothing, and I hope Joe Frazier go down in the same manner. I don't want nothing to change. I want it to go down in history. George Foreman can't take a punch. Nobody's ever hit him hard. He's never got up the floor bleeding and stumbling and hurting, and can he take a punch? I want all this to continue. After I'm out of the boxing game, retired with a beard, I want that to still be a question, that I never fought anybody.
Foreman is fresh and good. Frazier, since his bout with Ali, has only fought twice, and both of those opponents were nobodies. Unless he's ready, Joe will have quite a fight on his hands come next year. Bryant Gumbel, NBC News.
And here comes Joe Frazier, heavyweight champ of the world, who'll be defending his title later on this evening against George Foreman. And the fans are saying Smoking Joe, his famous nickname.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, may I introduce the Prime Minister of Jamaica,
And here is Prime Minister Michael Manley wishing Joe Frazier best of luck this evening. And here comes Joe Louis, one of the greats of all time. There's Joe Frazier elbowing George Foreman a little to the side. Boxing commissioners looking at the scales now for Joe Frazier.
214 pounds. Joe Frazier, 214 pounds.
And now George Foreman steps up to the scales. Staring him out.
George Foreman, 217 and 1/2.
We're back at ringside, and George Foreman, the challenger, has just come into the ring. You see him in the robe dancing. His manager, Dick Sadler, also came into the ring with him and is in the corner just above me wearing a blue sweater with green pants. But this will be Joe Frazier's corner, the one just above me. George Foreman, who's 24 years old, who was an Olympic heavyweight champion, who's fought 37 fights, won them all, 34 by knockout. And very quickly, let's set the scoring rules for tonight as we await the arrival in the ring of Joe Frazier, the defending champion. We're using a 10-point must-scoring system. A mandatory 8 count, 3 knockdowns in the round will not end the fight. That normal rule has been waived for this heavyweight championship fight. No saving by the bell. If a fighter is down, when the bell sounds, counting will continue. It's a 21-foot ring with a canvas like a mattress, very soft. The Joe Frazier kind of canvas. He doesn't bounce. He's a slugger, keeps coming at you like a tank. Foreman bounces some, and when he does, he'll sink. It won't be too good for him. In the background, I hear cheers, so Joe Frazier, the heavyweight champion of the world, age 29, has had 29 bouts, unbeaten, 25 knockouts in his career. Only 4 men have gone the distance with Joe. Muhammad Ali, of course, in the never-to-be-forgotten bout of March 8, 1971. Oscar Bonavena twice. There's Joe Frazier coming down the aisle, hanging on to his manager, Yancey Durham, as he always does. That's the Joe Frazier habit. Joe hasn't been very happy with George Foreman's behavior. Joe says he's a guy who likes to be let alone, who respects other fighters, but Foreman has been expressing disrespect for Frazier, and Frazier has seemed openly edgy. Not an act, not the usual promotion. He wants to do away with Foreman quickly if he can. Bonavena twice, I was saying, Ali once, and Scrap Iron Johnson once. They're the only ones who've gone the distance with Joe Frazier. As Joe gets into the ring, right, he'll be operating right above us. There's George Foreman. Oh, they've changed the corners on us, gentlemen and ladies. George Foreman will be in this corner. Originally, it's been set for George Foreman to be in the corner diagonally opposite us, but no, George will be right above us. You see Joe in that colorful attire. The white gown, in effect, with the gold, really, gleaming gold trim and belt. Joe Frazier came in at a surprising 214 pounds, 8.5 pounds more than he was the night he fought Muhammad Ali. George Foreman at, for him, a most satisfactory 217.5. George, of course, being 3 inches plus taller than Joe, and George having some considerable reach advantage on Joe. The referee will be Arthur McCanty as the ring announcer, Dwight Wiley, begins to get ready to introduce the contestants. Arthur McCanty, who's refereed 21 championship fights in his career, including the Ali-Frazier fight. Generally considered the best referee in boxing in the United States. The judges, Phil Spano, veteran boxing judge from Philadelphia, and Jacques Minot of Jamaica. And all three will be scoring the fight. Again, the 10-point must-scoring system per round. Well, they're trying to psych each other out as Arthur McCanty makes his announcement.
This contest for the heavyweight championship of the world will be governed by the rules of the Dominican Boxing Code of the Way.
There's no fear in either man. There is no fear in George Foreman. He's grown enormously in his confidence of speech and presence, as well as in boxing. We're close to the start of round one. Any second now, and we may have an interesting evening. Frazier, quite understandably, the favorite. Foreman comes out punching with the right. Frazier in his usual style. Smoking is the way he puts it. His job to get inside. His best weapon, the left hook. Foreman is vulnerable to the hook. Oh, the crowd was misled when Joe fell back a little. There was a slip off balance. Historically, Frazier has not been a good first-round fighter. But historically, he has been a tremendous, tremendous fighter. A great champion. You saw the left hook land on Foreman. That's what he'll be working on all night. Foreman would like to keep punching and keep Frazier away from him with his punches. Joe's job to get inside. Steadily use that left hook. Whip. Oh, Foreman connected, as you saw. He's a big, strong boy. He likens this fight to the same kind of problem he faced. There's another left by George. He's getting into Frazier's head. We'll find out tonight how much the Ali fight took out of Frazier, if anything. And we'll find out tonight just how good George Foreman is in punching and in taking a punch. I think he hurt Joe Frazier. I think Joe is hurt. Angie Dundee, Ali's trainer, right next to me, is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be in a neutral corner. He is as poised as can be. We have a minute left in this first round, and already this fight is proving out what some have expected. Oh, that left is getting in there. Underneath, Archie Moore is yelling to Foreman. We've got the excitement here that we look for. Frazier is dazed. He is getting hit again and again and again. The same head that was hit so often by Muhammad Ali. Frazier is dazed. You see the countdown for the first round. Foreman has not panicked. Foreman is going about his job. Foreman is all over Joe Frazier. Frazier is down again, and he may be. No, he is rising. He is game. He doesn't know where he is. The mandatory 8 count. He doesn't know where he is. Now the round is about to end. 2 knockdowns in the first round of Joe Frazier. Down again. No saving by the bell. He's up. And so the fight continues. 3 knockdowns in the first round by George Foreman. The stool hasn't even been brought out yet for Frazier. What excitement! You're looking at Joe Frazier, Yancey Durham over. The crowd shocked, but the crowd here rooting for Foreman. Muhammad Ali was their hero. Now you're looking in slow motion. The right for the first knockdown, clean as a whistle. Oh, what a first round. Well, back in Frazier's corner. As you look at them working over Joe, the ice pack at the back of the neck to restore the senses. Let's go to the slow-mo for the second knockdown. The right again. Clean as a whistle again. We're waiting for the start now of round 2. There was no question about the first round. 3 knockdowns. Now Joe is coming out at him. Wants to come back in a hurry. You'll not find a gamer man than Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier, who went down 3 times in the first round. A caution from Arthur Mercani. Oh, he is all over Frazier again. He has Frazier in the corner. Frazier's knees buckled. He is down. He is down for the 4th time in the fight. George Foreman is doing to Joe Frazier what he did as a 19-year-old to a veteran Russian, a fellow named Ionis Shapoulis, in October of 1968 in the Mexico City Arena. A quick left from George. Another. Frazier is down for the 5th time in this fight. 5th time. 3 times in the first round, twice in the second. McCanny checked his senses, checked Frazier's senses. It's target practice for George Foreman. It is target practice. Frazier is ready to go again. Joe is standing. There he goes. 3 times. 3 times. The fight is stopped. No, it is not. It is not stopped. Angie Dundee is screaming, stop it. Bertie Pacheco, Ali's doctor next to me. It is over. It is over. It is over in the second round. George Foreman is the heavyweight champion of the world. And I'm going up into that ring to talk to Joe Frazier, the loser, and to George Foreman, the winner, because Joe Frazier has been a great champion and deserves consideration. Yancey Durham hugging him. They're going crazy about George Foreman. I'll be back with Joe Frazier in a moment. We're in the ring corner, as you can see, Joe Frazier's corner. George Foreman, the new heavyweight champion of the world, has just spoken to Joe. Yancey Durham, a very great manager in boxing, man, is over his fighter. And Joe Frazier has been, as I've said, a great fighter. I'm certain the camera is having trouble spotting me. The knockout of the fight was stopped at 1:35 of the second round. Joe, I'm so terribly, terribly sorry.